Hello again, I am Blunty, and if you hear a chainsaw or other power tools in the background, I'm sorry about that. It's been going on for a while now, and I've no idea when it's going to stop, but now is when I have the time to record this video, so now is when this video gets recorded, background sound or not. So, as I said in the beginning, I am Blunty. I've been doing YouTube for about 11 and a half years. It'll be 12 years in, like, next March or May or something. It's one of the M months, I never remember which one. Anyway, more than a decade. Which means I've been doing YouTube since before YouTube is what it is today. I've been doing YouTube before Google purchased YouTube and decided that it was something worth owning and something that they could inject their advertising into and make money off. And to that end, when advertising was introduced, and even before advertising, when the partnership program was introduced, when they piloted the first 12 people on the face of the planet to ever make money doing YouTube, I was handpicked by the YouTube staff to be one of the guinea pigs in what they were calling the partnership or content partner program, I think was the official name back then. And it wasn't based on advertising revenue. They were paying us sort of a flat fee every month to publish our stuff on a regular basis and just sort of trying to get a feel for that. And they were experimenting with ads, and there used to be banner ads up the top, and then they moved them to the side, and then they did the pop-up thing with the ads where they come up, and then they did some pre-rolls, and then they did post-rolls. You know, they were trying all kinds of things to see what kind of advertising was going to work, and the reaction at the time was fairly aggressive. And the reason I bring this up is because the reaction about advertising right now is fairly aggressive. The Adpocalypse, as people have taken to being called it. You know, a couple of YouTubers said some ridiculously offensive, vile things, and advertisers freaked out and went, we don't want our ads running on videos where people say that kind of stuff. We're going to pull out. And the Adpocalypse began. I mean, it's a lot more complicated than that, but basically advertisers started pulling out because they didn't want to be associated with certain kinds of content on this site. Which is fair enough. That's the way advertising kind of has to work. Advertisers want to put themselves next to something that people like to watch. It reflects their brand identity in some way, at least. And now there's a whole big new freak out happening at the moment surrounding Casey Neistat and H3H3Productions and Philip Defranco and Jimmy Kimmel, you know, all mixed up. And the whole thing behind that is Casey put up a video and he said, okay, all the ad revenue I would normally get from this video is going to this charity, this support thing for one of the natural disasters that's been happening at the moment. As you may have not noticed, kind of a few natural disasters happening at the moment, and relief efforts are kind of in need. So Casey, he decided to throw his weight behind it and say, okay, all the advertising revenue from this video goes to this particular charity. And because of YouTube's new Adpocalypse based, or one of their new Adpocalypse, Adpocalypse, what a stupid name to call that. One of their freak out reactions was to say, well, we're not going to run ads on any video that's about a controversial subject like a natural disaster, for example. So they took away the ads from Casey's video, which means there was no advertising revenue to then send across to the charities and everything. And people are like, well, that's a bit shit, but it's a blanket policy. It's about a natural disaster. The YouTuber decided they don't want to run ads on videos like that because they'd have to manually review everyone to make sure it's okay and not sort of manipulative bullshit and blah, 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 blah. However, Jimmy Kimmel's video about the same natural disaster, that's running ads just fine, and everyone's freaking out about that. And Philip Defranco is going, "Hey YouTube, pay attention to me! Oi, can you comment on this issue? Because I'm a big deal, and I'm bringing attention to this." And then H3H3Productions is like, "Hey, these other guys are freaking out about what the big deal about is, and I'm pointing out some inconsistencies and hypocrisy in this thing. And this one runs ads, and this one doesn't run ads. Where's the line? Oh, that's Jimmy Kimmel, and that's sort of some vlogger guy." And that's basically the situation around ads at the moment is pretty dire, and a lot of content creators have seen their revenue plummet into dangerous places. So they've been reaching out trying to do other things, and YouTube have been reacting about that. You know, the Patreon thing, they just said, no, you can't put Patreon links anymore unless you're pre-approved by us. And so in short, everybody is freaking out and is really angry that YouTube creators can't make as much money as they used to be able to make. And circling back to the beginning here, this is why I brought up how long I've been on YouTube, and I was here when advertising was introduced. There was a reaction against creators making money. There was a lot of sentiment saying, well, you get to use the YouTube site for free. Why do you get to, well, you shouldn't have to make money as well. Look at this guy. Find a job, you moron. This is a free site with minimum ads. Basically reacting to one of the videos I made about the introduction of ads and you know, creators like myself being able to make money and, you know, potentially make a living doing this, just pointing a webcam at ourselves sitting at our desk or at a bed or, you know, vlogging. So I'm going to read you a few other choice comments from around that time, just to put in perspective the way things have changed when it comes to people like me making money, making this kind of content. Next one is money, money, money. It's all about entertaining people, not about money, right? So he's like, well, why do you want to make money by being entertaining? You selfish. Really? Here's another one. Why does everything have to be about money? Can't you just enjoy yourself and have fun and stop expecting handouts? Apparently, being able to earn revenue by, you know, devoting large portions of your days and weeks into creating entertaining content for people is something you should, you know, you shouldn't get paid for that. That's if someone rewards you for doing that, that's a handout. That's charity. That's taking pity on you, you miserable little content creator. What else we got here? YouTube isn't special. It's just a new means to continue doing what people have always done, which is communicate, entertain, and inform each other. Expecting to be paid for it is ridiculous. YouTube is becoming the AOL of the video age. People taking it too seriously, pretending it's a community, and thinking we're changing the world. It's just people posting videos, and it's not the only game in town. You see, this is 10 years ago. 10 years ago, people were writing this. And I've checked some of these accounts, by the way. These are screenshots I've taken in the last sort of week or so as I'm poking through this stuff. Some of these people are still around. You bet your ass there are ads running on their videos. Here's a thought. If you want to make money, pay for your right to post here. If you want to make money, you should pay somebody. Then you can think about ad revenue sharing, since that is the true meaning of revenue sharing. No. I have to disagree with you, Blunty. I think content makers like Smosh should probably get money for it, maybe. But vloggers shouldn't. A vlog is basically a diary. You do it because you want to. Do you think people as live journal? That's what it says. Do you think people as live journal should be paid, misspelled, for making bloggers? Written blogs are interesting, you know. I think you should get some moolah, though, because of your great brick film. So he's saying I shouldn't be able to make money for doing anything that's pointed at my face, but I should be able to make money for the animations I used to do with Lego, which, for those of you who don't know, I used to do animated films with Lego. I don't do it anymore because my back's all fucked up and just, it's very, very painful to do that for hours and then leaning over a table and... you are in the wrong. YouTube are providing a service to you to put your videos on here. They didn't beg you to post things on here. You simply did it because YouTube had an audience and you could not afford the bandwidth. That's partly true. I did start using YouTube to host my animated Lego films because bandwidth back in the day was ridiculously expensive when you're feeding out video files, which are just enormous, comparatively speaking, to anything else you would host back in the day. So I was losing money distributing my brick films, my animated Lego films. I was literally losing money because I didn't, you know, I wasn't feeding them out on subscription service. I was just giving them away, but I had to pay for the hosting. So I started using YouTube so I didn't have to pay for the hosting. So that, you know, it kind of has the seed of a point there. Don't sell out, Blunty. Apparently running ads on your videos back then was selling out. Now everybody wants to do it. Everybody gets angry when they're not allowed to run ads on their videos these days. It's not selling out anymore. Weird how things change, isn't it? That's what you're talking about. It's called selling out. Selling out. Zoom. Selling out. You were never commissioned by YouTube to post here. As such, you're owed nothing. I love your vids, but you're just not right. Come on, seriously? Google is like $1 billion company. If they are desperate for money to run YouTube, people have no concept of how much bandwidth YouTube uses and what that costs to maintain. YouTube is $1 billion company. They should just run YouTube for free. Just burn their money away on it. Ridiculous to expect them to want to make money off it. Blah, 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 blah. It's unnecessary, and most people would just close the ad as soon as it pops up. true enough, but enough people don't close the ad as soon as it pops up and click on the ads that it makes advertising worthwhile. That's the entire point of advertising. You spam out as much as possible, and even if you get sort of 1% of those people clicking, that's still, there's an economy there. I know, because I would go to YouTube to watch videos and be entertained. If I wanted to watch ads all day, I'd turn on the TV. I think that's the last screenshot I have, but yeah. Point is, YouTube has changed drastically, and your attitudes have changed drastically. I have, as someone who wanted to do this instead of having to... I used to work in retail. Then I hurt my back, and I couldn't work in retail anymore because I couldn't be on my feet all day, every day. And as part of my recovery process, when I was doing the physical therapy and getting over the back and what it did to my headspace, because I fell into a very, very deep depression because I couldn't work anymore, and I just felt pointless and useless, and it was a very, very difficult point in my life. So I started I'd already been using YouTube for hosting my Lego films. I started doing vlogs because making a vlog was easier than typing out a blog, because I didn't have to spell check, basically, and I already had all the video equipment from making my animations. So I thought, well, fuck it, why not? That was when vlogging was invented, basically, on YouTube as a form of entertainment, as a form of communication. And when sort of people started to react to what I was saying, how I was saying it, my on-camera personality, or whatever it was that made people come back to my videos again and again and again and hit that magical little subscribe button, so they used to get notified. They used to get notified about when videos would go up. Now, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Fuck you, YouTube. I started thinking about that maybe I could pursue this as a career. And then Google bought YouTube, and I went, there's a path forward right there. So I kept it up, and I got lucky. I got incredibly lucky, and YouTube were like, hey, you there. You're posting videos that are getting consistent views, and you're posting pretty much every day. You're the kind of creator we want to sort of encourage, the lots and lots of content very regularly that people can rely on, people can go back to. We want to sort of find a way for us to make money together. And so here we are today, 11 years later. I mean, my channel has had its ups and downs. My subscriber count has always ticked up very, very slowly, but the viewership has gone wild because YouTube do different things to the way they feed out the videos and present them. And right now I'm on a bit of a slope down a bit. I'm very frustrated with the way things are going at the moment. My subscribers aren't getting notified properly and everything, and it's, I haven't had much trouble with the Adpocalypse thing, but it's all wackadoo. So I've been spreading out in other directions, sort of finding other advertising revenues as much as I can, because, a few years ago, all my eggs were in this one YouTube basket. And I had the foresight to start spreading my wings earlier, before this Adpocalypse thing came, because I felt like something like this might come. So I started to get nervous about just having YouTube as the sole primary source of income. I mean, I've always made money from doing side gigs and things and commission stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that I do that you guys don't get to see. I do sort of little bits and pieces. But I've always been on the side of, I think there should be a way for people like me, content creators, individuals, vloggers, small movie makers and animators and musicians and all these kind of people that have this platform now to reach people, to be able to support themselves via the reaching people out there. And once upon a time, I got a lot of flack for it. I got called a sellout again and again and again for doing nothing more than letting YouTube present ads on or near my videos. That was enough to be called a sellout back in the day. These days, as you're seeing right now, people are freaking the fuck out because they're not allowed to run ads on certain videos anymore. Times change, my friends, times change.